This is a story of Ulf and Siggy, twin children who live in the faraway country of Austria, in Europe. They've started school and were given their first homework assignment. They have to learn as much as they can about the United States of America. That's where you live.
Luckily, Ulf and Siggy know about the library, where they found a book about the United States of America.
So Ulf, check this out. It's a book that teaches you about all of the states in the United States. It teaches you about big important cities in each state called capitals.
I know, Siggy. I'm actually smarter than you think I am, and I can read.
Well, that's your opinion, and you're welcome to it. Anyway, the cool thing about this book is that there are friends in the book who will take us on a journey through different parts of the United States.
Yes, it's true. There's Willie, who lives in the West, and there's Susie, who lives in the South.
Yeah, and there's Normie from the North, and Mickey from the Midwest.
And finally, Ellie from the East.
Ulf and Siggy were so excited to learn about the United States that they decided to go to visit their American relatives, Auntie Ellen and Uncle Ken.
Ulf and Siggy traveled all the way across the Atlantic Ocean from Europe to the United States.
We are Auntie Ellen
And Uncle Ken.
and we're Ulf and Siggy's American hosts. We'll be taking care of Ulf and Siggy while they're here, as well as disciplining them when they need it.
So let's join Ulf and Siggy as they join their new friends from the book and learn all about the United States. Hi, Ulf. Hi, Siggy. Welcome to the United States.
Thank you.
So how can we help you?
Well, our teacher said that we have to write poems about the United States and each individual state.
That sounds like fun. We'll tell you all about the people and the towns.
Don't forget the crops, mountains, rivers, products, state birds, flowers.
And all sorts of interesting facts, and the coolest thing of all, we're going to introduce you to a friend of ours in each state, and that friend has the same name as the capital of that state. Like my friend Austin in Texas.
Or my friend Helena in Montana. I have a great idea for the first poem.
Yeah, what is it?
And here is Ulf's introductory poem. Exploring Ellie and Wandering Willie travel to places both warm and chilly. For Normie and Susie, there's water and sand, while Meandering Mickey tours the heartland. The 5 boys and girls visit friends and mates named after the capital of each of the states.
All right. And how many states are in the United States?
There's 50.
Very good. Exploring the East with Ellie. Part 1. New England and New York.
So let's start with Ellie, who lives in the eastern part of the United States by the Atlantic Ocean.
The East can be divided into 2 parts, the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. Today I'm going to tell you about the Northeast, which is made up of the states of Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut. All of these are called New England. The Northeast can also include the state of New York. On the next show, I'll tell you about the Mid-Atlantic states, which include states such as New Jersey and Maryland.
I have a poem.
Siggy's poem about the East. In the Northeast, Ellie gets on a plane and flies to see friends in Rhode Island and Maine. Then the Mid-Atlantic is where she'll pass through to see friends in New Jersey and Maryland, too. Good poem, Siggy.
Of course, everything I do is good.
It's not nice to brag.
Guys, knock it off.
So first, Ellie is going to go to the state of Maine, way up in the northeastern part of the United States, where her friend Augusta lives.
And remember, Augusta is also the name of Maine's capital.
My name is Carter, and I live in Harvard, and I'm 8.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in 3rd grade.
Okay, Carter, can you tell us where New England is? Is it in, we'll give you a multiple choice question. Is it in the western part of the United States? Is it in the southern part of the United States? Or is it in the eastern part of the United
The
States?
eastern part of the United States.
That is very good. That is the answer. Hey, Augusta. Long time no see. Hi, Ellie. I'm glad you're here. I was hoping you could come out with me for a nice lobster dinner. We can go to Bar Harbor, we can go to Portland, or Bangor. You know, Maine's well known for its seafood, as well as its rocky coast. Our state bird is the chickadee, and our state tree is the eastern white pine. In fact, Maine is known as the pine tree state because of all the pine trees and the fact that most of Maine is made up of forests. The biggest mountain is called Mount Katahdin. I heard that you guys produce the most blueberries of any place in the world. Yup, and we also have lots of cattle, dairy, chicken and eggs, and apples.
My turn. I've got a poem. Start writing, Siggy.
Say please.
Please.
Augusta dines on lobster up in Portland, Maine. Then she's off to Bangor, where she does the same. The pines of Mount Katahdin rustle in the breeze. They stay green when the winter comes and never lose their leaves.
Not too bad, Ulf, I must admit.
Now, Ellie's going to the state right next to Maine. It's called New Hampshire.
Her friend is a boy who's named after the capital. His name is Concord. And he sure looks dressed warmly.
What ocean? Do you know what ocean New Hampshire is on the coast of?
Well, the Atlantic Ocean.
That's right.
Hi, Concord.
Hi, Ellie. Ready for some hiking? You know, New Hampshire is called the Granite State, and it's got lots of mountains. The highest mountain in New Hampshire, and in all of the Northeast, is called Mount Washington, and it's really cold and windy up there. It's part of a range called the White Mountains. Our state bird is the purple finch, and our state tree is the birch.
Hey, can you take me to Portsmouth? I know it's right on the coast of the Atlantic. Then I'd like to see Manchester and Littleton, too.
You got it. And like my friend Augusta up in Maine, we can get lots of cattle, eggs, and apples in New Hampshire.
I have a poem. It's gonna be a good one.
Siggy's poem about New Hampshire. New Hampshire's Great White Mountains, young Concord did pass through, on his way toward Littleton and Old Manchester, too. Mount Washington was so windy and chilled him to the bone. He settled down along the coast as Portsmouth was his home. Good job. I really like the part about chilling to the bone, very visual.
Now Ellie is going right next door to Vermont, where she meets up with her friend Montpelier, who is named after the capital of Vermont.
Hi, Montpelier.
Oh, you can just call me Monty, it's easier. So welcome to Vermont. I'd like to first take you to one of the biggest lakes in the Northeast, Lake Champlain. It's on the northwestern part of the state on the opposite side of Maine. We can also take a hike in the Green Mountains and see all the maple trees. Vermont is called the Green Mountain State, and maple trees are our state tree. Our state bird is called the hermit thrush.
That's a cool-looking bird. But now I'm in the mood for pancakes and maple syrup.
Oh, we make a great maple syrup here. I think I have a poem. Listen to this one.
Ulf's poem about Vermont. Monty started off his day in lovely Lake Champlain. Then he headed toward the east, on his way to Maine. Lots of pretty maple trees he would often go past in the mountains of Vermont, so tall and bold and vast.
Not bad, Ulf. For you, that is.
You leave me alone.
Guys, stop the bickering.
But she started it though.
Guys? Awkward. Well, I see you weren't formally introduced, Boston. The kids in the audience. This is Boston, named after the capital of Massachusetts. Hi, Boston.
Hi, Ellie. Well, just like Monty up in Vermont and my friend Concord in New Hampshire, I love traveling through my state. And just like Augusta up in Maine, I love seafood. We're right on the Atlantic Ocean, and that's where the seafood comes from. Massachusetts has two big bays, the Massachusetts Bay and the Cape Cod Bay.
And that's why you're called the Bay State, I get it.
Yup. Our state bird is called the chickadee, and our state tree is the American elm. And speaking about American, Massachusetts has a lot of great famous American history, dating back to the Revolutionary War, when our country freed ourselves from the rule of England back in 1776. The famous battles of Lexington and Concord were the first battles in that war. That's why Lexington had the famous shot heard round the world.
Cool.
Got a poem, Ulf. But first, I'm sorry for being mean before.
And I'm sorry for yelling.
Siggy's poem about Massachusetts. Boston likes to travel from Mount Greylock to Cape Cod. In Falmouth, he can get his fill of lobster, clams, and scrod. In Lexington and Concord, he can hear the cannons roar as he hears the story of the Redcoats and the war.
Do you know what the capital of Massachusetts is?
Boston.
Excellent. Now Ellie is going to visit her friend Providence, who lives in Rhode Island and is named after Rhode Island's capital.
Hi, Providence. Hi, Ellie. You're just in time. I was going to close up the jewelry shop that I work at with my mom. We make lots of jewelry here in Woonsocket, Rhode Island. Anyway, I was going to head over to Pawtucket. It's on the coast, and my dad builds ships there. Rhode Island builds lots of boats. Like many of the other New England states, Rhode Island is right on the Atlantic. That's why we're called the Ocean State. So we have our very own Rhode Island red, that's our state bird. Our tree is the red maple. Remember that Vermont is the sugar maple. I also heard that in addition to jewelry and ships, Rhode Island's well known for its dairy products.
Whose turn is it for a poem now?
I think it's mine. Hey, how about this?
Ulf's poem about Rhode Island. Providence sells jewelry near the mills of Woonsocket. She does really well and gets cash in her pocket. Pawtucket and Cranston are where she takes trips, or to Rhode Island's coast where her father builds ships.
Good going, Ulf. Quite impressed.
Thank you, Siggy.
But I could do better.
Siggy?
Guys, what did we tell you?
Yeah. So now Ellie is going right next door to Rhode Island, to the last of the New England states, at least according to Ellie. The state of Connecticut is where she's going to visit her friend, Miss Hartford.
What's the capital of Connecticut?
I'm gonna go for this one. New Haven. No, Hartford.
Hi, Miss Hartford. Hi, Ellie. What's the name of this water that you're standing near? It's called the Long Island Sound, and it's connected to the Atlantic Ocean. Don't forget, right across the Long Island Sound is Long Island, which is part of the state of New York. We've got some cool towns near the Long Island Sound, like Bridgeport, New Haven, and New London. In New London, they have some awesome-looking cruise ships. Oh, could I name you a state bird and tree? Sure. The state bird of Connecticut is the robin, and the state tree is the white oak. Very good. And one more thing, Connecticut is called the Constitution State because it was very important in starting our government.
All right, here I go. I have a poem.
Siggy's poem about Connecticut. On the coast of Connecticut, Miss Hartford is found, standing just north of the Long Island Sound. New Haven and Bridgeport are both very near, and so are the cruise ships at New London Pier. Good, Siggy, for a beginner.
Ulf, please don't start with me.
Guys, stop the fighting. I was just stating a fact.
The fact is you're starting with me.
Guys, we're gonna have to split you up if you don't behave.
Yeah, stop!
Moving right along, literally, to the state of New York. It's a big state found to the west of New England. My friend Albany, he prefers to be called Al, is named after New York's capital.
Hi, Ellie. You know, you really seem to know your geography well. Oh, did I tell you I was moving? Now, don't get me wrong, I love New York City. Well, Yonkers, actually. All the action, all the different people, the tall buildings that make up the New York skyline, the food. But sometimes it's just a little too much hustle and bustle for me. You know, people may not know this, but New York's got a lot of great countryside, too, where we have lots of cattle, we grow grapes and apples. We're called the Empire State because of all of New York's wealth and many resources. Our state bird is the bluebird, and our state tree is the sugar maple, just like Vermont's state tree.
So where you moving?
Out west, there are some great things to see, like Niagara Falls, a couple of the Great Lakes, the town of Buffalo, and my favorite, the Finger Lakes. I can't wait to do some water skiing and swimming there. Okay, here's my poem.
Oh, by the way, Ulf, before you present your poem, I got a progress report from our teacher. Content, we got an A. Poems, we got an A. Cooperation, well, let's just say needs improvement.
Ulf's New York poem. Albany was born and raised in Yonkers, but the big city traffic was driving him bonkers. He got in his car and, hardly hitting the brakes, escaped up north toward the fun Finger Lakes.
Well, looks like we're out of time for today.
See you guys next time.
Join Olen and Siggy next time when they join Ellie on a trip through the mid-Atlantic states.
And try to stay out of trouble.
So, what is the capital of New York?
Albany, I think.
Very good. And what is the capital of Rhode Island?
I think it's Providence.
Excellent.
Okay, now we'll have capital of Maine is called Augusta. And
Get them off of me!
that's fine.
That actually would be pretty good.
That's good. Do you know what the capital?
Thank you very much, Calvin. Calvin, right? It's coming for me again. Oh, good.
Hey Calvin, what's the capital of Maine called?
Augusta?
Excellent job.
Do you know what the state tree of Rhode Island is?
I remember this because I am extremely smart. It's the red maple. Yeah? Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
What's the tallest mountain in Maine?
I know the answer to that. It is Mount Katahdin. Yeah.